Back, ladies and gentlemen, to the continued coverage here for the UMG Prime at $2,000 4v4 variant, hopping in here toward our map number 1 of our current semifinal matchup. We've got Rain taking on JuKed here, and of course on the opposite end of the bracket, the other semifinal is taking place there too, which is actually Prospect going up against Complexity. So of course winners of both of these respective series will move on to the finals, as we actually just got to witness the boys on Rain, who are of course facing off now in this current matchup. They were able to drop the guys on Lethal Gaming in a 2-1 fashion, closed out CTF on Flat Tower 2-1. So have quite a bit of momentum, just took that victory. And however though, facing off against a very respectable opponent when it comes down to the side of JuKed. Unfortunately for JuKed, they did end up finishing in the 6th position, so didn't get relegated, didn't end up qualifying, kind of in that mid-map position. Actually, funny enough, also with Complexity, so we've got quite a few U.S. National Circuit, even, of course, Lethal Gaming most recently, and the Canadian National Circuit teams coming out to play and trying to win their fair share of the $2,000 prize at that. So, with that in mind, I believe JuKed ends up finishing 3 and 4 in the overall scheme of things when it comes down to their series count. And I actually like this team quite a bit. It's an interesting combination of players because you have Spacely and LlamaGod, who previously come from Ghost Gaming. They are, of course, teammates with LispZeus and Mox, who later found, of course, GodRx and Panner to kind of remake the Ghost lineup. And we have Apox and Baker, who actually came from Zodiac. And they were prior teammates, I believe, with both Jump and Tish. And I believe Tish was actually in tonight's tournament as well. He actually played under Big Beams, and they were eliminated, I think, in like round 3 or maybe even the quarterfinal match. I'm not exactly sure how far they ended up making it tournament. They actually could have made up against Complexity. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, though, teammates, prior squads facing off against each other. And speaking of that, we actually got to witness Dashi and Complexity face off against Enigma 6 earlier on in the tournament, where he got to have a little bit of a reliving moments for him in general. As now, of course, hopping into the gameplay, a currently tied matchup, as it just looks like the boys from Rain will grab a small lead for the time. It's basically trying to hop inside of the hardpoint to change the overall scheme of things. It looks like it will now be a lead toward the side of JuKed. As when it comes into bunker, this can be a money hill when it comes into Arn Forest, this along with Ruins. As we're going to see a majority of that time go to the team with the advantage inside of the hill. But it looks like for right now, bunker kind of swatty time going back and forth. Looks like JuKed did get a majority of it. Players starting to line up here for LispZeus. Ends up dropping, but it looks like Hitmxn and Neon getting the final laugh when it comes down to Forest. But it's Apox laughing as well. A hilarious gesture amongst the entire teams as they're grabbing seconds and taking names. As for right now, East Road Hardpoint loading up. This one can be a little bit difficult to hold. I've seen certain players and even analysts say, like, which point of view, which spawn you prefer to kind of hold from time to time. But I feel like there's positives and negatives to both. I would say if there is a preferred spawn, I want to say it's probably from bunker, just maybe because of the kind of easier setup that you have, because once these kind of blue arrows hop inside of the hardpoint, if we take a look at the mini-map real quick, like once you kind of look at that, you have the ability to really kind of force those players out toward that back bridge, which really limits their overall ability about hopping inside of the hill. So I feel like if you can get like a solid like 3 or 4 down, you see how far back they are? It's such a long trek. It's almost like a no man's land through that bridge, that wide open bridge area, to really try to hop inside of the hill. So I feel like when you're on East Road, you'd prefer to kind of be on bunker side, but it's very difficult to really kind of say one side is preferred over the other. As 4 go down quick from the side of Rain, JuKed starting to catch a little bit of fire right now, as they do have a 40-point advantage. And LlamaGod is doing the work through mid-map. This guy has been known to put on some streaks, very solid player. And currently, he's playing pretty strong right now, as it looks like JetLi coming from the side is able to drop 2. And this is what this guy can do for the side of Rain from time to time, is he can kind of catch fire and really dominate when it comes into certain maps, and really, or at least what I was able to really take a lot from Reigns, last series was the factor of different players kind of turning up from time to time, and the Search and Destroy was JetLi who really kind of caught fire, got to being down 3-0, and the Search and Destroy they really kind of managed to get things back, and I think it was JetLi who finished off with 10 kills, was dominating with a sniper rifle, as Baker tells LispZeus to catch the Hardpoints. Continue on here for Ruins, and like I said, for Rain, it was a matter of, like I said, LispZeus having some opportunities. It was JetLi having strong performances in the Search and Destroy. And it was Hitmxn who, in the final CTF, finishes off 24-16, gets full streaks, and it was just a matter of the guys from Lethal who were having good moments, but the streaks were just overly too powerful. So I feel like if the guys on Rain can have some strong opportunities, of course, they're not used to winning the Hardpoints, especially in their last series. They can dominate S&D and CTF. That's where we can see them have a strong performance, but at least for right now, the Hardpoint, it's looking pretty dire. Ruins currently going the way of JuKed, as it will be Baker locking down some easy time inside of the Hardpoint, basically lingering, and Apox is aware of that next rotation. Be looking out for Apox at certain moments during the Hardpoint, as well as in Search and Destroy. This guy can absolutely go off in that particular game mode. A lot of the time is prone to rock the sniper rifle, and London Docks can be a map where we see that particular weapon get brought up from time to time on the water side, or even on that B-bomb site there as well. But it looks like a back bunker spawn currently in possession of the side of JuKed. It looks like JetLi trying to do some damage up close and personal in your face. There's two. Spacely's there to drop one. LispZeus, though, will be able to win a small team fight after dropping after that. But with spawns in favor of JuKed, it's very impressive that Rain was kind of able to hop their way into the Hardpoint, even though they don't overall have the man count advantage when you kind of look at things. It looks like a messed up nade there from Neon, but it kind of works out. LispZeus decides to go for the re-challenge, and just like that, that's a moment where, that's a very unorthodox play, a very unorthodox kind of moment that happens where Rain doesn't actually have the spawns, and they're able to kind of force their way through bunker, but that doesn't happen very often. They're just kind of forcing their way through the spawn that obviously JuKed has, which is just either in back bunker or toward back bell. That was just very impressive, and just overall great slaying and good up close and personal fights with the PPSHs that they were able to utilize there. They get quite a few of those remaining seconds when it comes down to bunker, and now they're not too far off of this game. Granted, obviously it's about 60 points to separate them, and LlamaGod's not making anything any easier after that, but still, very kind of impressive run for them. If they can kind of afford to have sneaky plays like that, they have to play better, but it's not out of reach by any means. As 4 go down for the side of JuKed. On the back end here of Bridge is all for them trying to make their way up. The nade gets tossed out. Hitmxn watching one side of that side cabin area. Neon's there to pick off one. As 3 go down yet again. This is a scary moment right now for JuKed. They're beginning to body stack. That's just the spawn that they're getting despite them tossing out nades. It's not doing any damage. It's just a matter of shaking the screen. That's all it is. As players try to go forward, it looks like it will be an overall trade that goes the way of Baker and co., but to no avail. The East Road is over. You didn't really get a whole lot from that. So it's JuKed who are kind of on the back foot. Of course, rotations now get reset toward Cave. And JetLi does drop just inside of that cabin position. The fighter pilot coming from above as LlamaGod is able to do some damage. 4 players getting ready to hop inside of the hill right now for the boys on JuKed. Looks like the fighter pilot starting to come from the skies. We'll see if this can do any damage for the boys on Rain. It looks like it does not find any kills, so kind of surprising that's the case. But a lot of up close and personal fights taking place at the moment. It looks like Hitmxn might have found one there. Ends up getting taken down. And so this rotation toward Cave becomes even more important because of the fact that Rain is going to brought this one back to a similar playing field. Granted, it is 50 seconds, but they are known to grab seconds in quick succession. Can't afford to really give them any advantages. They will absolutely take advantage if you do. Here comes another fighter pilot, this one from the side of JuKed. Baker does take out one with it. But despite the streak coming forward, it still will be the hill currently in control, but basically is coming on the flank. Neon is on the flank of him, but now it's Neon who doesn't have anyone in the hardpoint for his team. He's the farthest pushed up player, but he's finding headshots at range, and 4 go down for the guys on JuKed. 30 valuable seconds that are going the way of whoever can hop inside of the hill. The nades from LlamaGod, along with the headshots coming in from Spacely, are doing the work necessary. But there goes 3, there goes 4. Hitmxn and LispZeus locking things down. And it looks like the guys from Rain are not going down without a fight. Ruins gets ready to come to a close, and take a look at those red arrows. LlamaGod, the only player making his way through mid-map, the only guy on that rotation. All 3 players are inside of the hill with 1 second left. They need to be on that rotation toward bunker, because this is a very scary situation right now if you're JuKed. You need to get in there soon. You need to get in there fast, and here come the streaks from Hitmxn, dropping Apox, 2 fall, and now you're looking at yourself in a 2v4 push-up. Try to hop inside a bunker. It's not looking good. But we'll see if the guys from JuKed can break the hardpoint. LlamaGod ends up falling. Apox quickly behind him, but LlamaGod in that situation, he kind of makes a solo rush. He has no teammate support behind him. No one's really rushing with him. And now it looks like the guys from JuKed kind of come to a halt. We'll see if they can start to speed up that process, as it looks like kills going down either which way. At 1.6 players falling in the lobby, but control and time still being awarded toward the guys on Rain, locking down bunker flawlessly at the time. It looks like we could be getting close to a lead change. As rotation now coming in toward East Road. And take a look at who has those, in some cases, rather unfortunate spawns. It is the guys on JuKed. And here comes a clutch streak coming in from Hitmxn. That is huge. This man is currently sitting at 33 and 27. Trying to hop inside of the hill. Desperate seconds. And it looks like Hitmxn also, along with earning those streaks earlier, has the artillery barrage. If I'm him, I'm putting this at the beginning of that bridge. I feel like it's almost, you have to use it at this point on that bridge, but it looks like he's not going to do it. And the reason being is because the spawns have flipped, but here comes the artillery barrage, putting it on one side, the mortar strike on the other though. Both teams putting on streaks on the opposite ends of the spawns, and it looks like it will be the guys from JuKed who overall have the advantage. But not if JetLi has anything to say about it. Ends up finding 2, a second that changes the overall landscape of this match right now. 10 valuable seconds still being awarded toward East Road, but no team wants to be a part of it. They realize what's most important is that cave rotation, and Hitmxn finds one. Spacely's there for the trade, and right now the red arrows are not anywhere near it. Rain are getting ready to have a little bit of a problem trying to get in this rotation because of the line sights that the guys on JuKed currently possess. That rotation in toward cave is absolutely crucial, and JuKed is playing off of it right now. LispZeus needs to get inside, needs to have some teammate support, goes in for one, but can't be there for the second, and all they can do is watch. They're not going to have enough time to hop inside of the hill, and just like that, a closing for a map number 1. JuKed take hardpoint here on Arden Forest. 250 to 232. Catch my breath, why don't I? Because that was just unreal stuff. Just a phenomenal hardpoint to witness there, as the guys on JuKed do take a very close map number 1. Take a look at that scorecard there. 42 and 35 there for LlamaGod, along with Spacely having a pretty strong performance when it comes down to slaying. Not normally his kind of preferred role in past titles, kind of known, you know, not specifically, but kind of known at some points for his objective support play. But take a look here at the overall kind of scorecard here, what exactly went down as far as the hills are considered. And look at JuKed here. In cave, 111 seconds to 40. That is just unreal to see that many seconds actually go toward a certain team. But despite Rain locking down a majority of the time inside a bunker, it's not really that's not really the kind of hardpoint that decides it. It's really just about cave, the initial setup. That's the hardpoint that you're probably going to visit more times than any other hill, just because it's the first hill of the rotation. So a lot of the times when we see, you know, 3 rotations of hills, you're probably going to see cave probably 4 out of those kind of in total, and the others probably only get visited 3 times. So that's kind of like the kind of massive point to bring up, is that off the break, JuKed was just there. They had the advantage, and along with holding that hill, they have the advantage in ruins. They have the advantage. Actually, that's it. The only really major hill they have control of is really just cave and ruins. Even ruins was pretty close. So that's kind of surprising to see. You know, granted, Rain kind of played it fairly standard. You know, cave is obviously important, but they realized the kind of more important hills of that are normally going to be ruins and bunker, which they did a fantastic job at locking down bunker. But it just doesn't go their way, it's fair to say. A lot of very crucial gunfights, a lot of team fights that obviously that we witnessed go down, and that was just overall a bloodbath, to say the least. But now Looking on here for some search and destroy on London Docks. I'm looking at JuKed. I feel pretty confident. I would say in this lineup, I also feel pretty confident in Rain. They take a London Docks search and destroy in round 10 versus Lethal Gaming, which is no easy feat by any means. But JuKed has been kind of having a lot of consistent opponents when it comes to the search and destroy. They've been playing against Nextstart, playing against Gone, GGEA Orange, Enigma 6, name them. They've been playing against them in search and destroy night in and night out. So very interested to see, of course, how search and destroy London Dunks will obviously play out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the continued coverage here for the UMG Prime at $2,000 4v4 variant. Of course, hopping in here toward our map number 2 of our current semifinal taking place between Rain and JuKed. If you guys obviously did witness map number 1, that one was on Arden Forest, and JuKed took a narrow victory at 250 to 232, and now looking on here for some search and destroy. It looks like off the break, offensive team will be the boys on JuKed. Going toward the B bomb site, which is fairly standard, but it looks like a bomb planter does get kicked off here in a pretty awkward spot. Llama is there to pick it up for his fallen comrade, but Apox is still in the back lines. Apox is at the back of the spawn, and that's going to be a continuous problem for player number 6. So LispZeus realizes, hey, I have to challenge from a different point of view, a different line of sight. And now him and Neon left in a 2v3 spot, trying to retake onto this bomb. One falls, and now Neon's position is known. And this spells disaster if you are the guys on Rain for the time being. 1v3 spot. The head has been found, but not taken out successfully, as it looks like it will be a round number 1 on the board here for the guys on JuKed, along with getting the bomb down as well. Overall, a fairly successful thing when it kind of comes down to it, as LlamaGod, I believe, finds at least, I think, 2 kills in this round, along with the plant. So when you're talking about score streaks, off of just a round number 1 victory, it can play big. And this is one thing that I always discuss, is that after losing a Hardpoint, in best of 3s, it's just a matter of really in search and destroy, trying to get your feet back under you, trying to get some positives, trying to get something going for you for the most part, and losing rounds like this are absolutely crucial, and dying in first bloods as well can be problematic, as Neon ends up dying early to a nade from LlamaGod, as they're just sitting and watching as Hitmxn might have made it on the flank, does drop one into Apox, and speaking of dropping, does fall to that lower dock area. As the ladders, we're not used to seeing them. Actually, in Call of Duty, jetpacks, you didn't actually need them, but now you do. Back to boots on the ground, and as LlamaGod does make his way into barrel building, he will be greeted with some shots onto JetLi. 2 versus 2, now bomb has been planted, and it's on a short fuse. 2 players actually getting ready to enter inside. Spacey and LlamaGod, like I said, don't have a whole lot of time to work with. Entering in forward, and LispZeus is just trying to play spoiler. Actually has Spacey dropped down right in front of him. And right now for Hitmxn, just play the time. And it looks like Spacey will jump off the map, I believe. You like to imagine that's the situation. Surprise, I want to say that Spacey probably doesn't actually mean to fall off the map in that scenario, because he probably would like to go for the kill, but for those who might be curious as to why Spacey, it would be normal for him to jump off the map just to make sure that the remaining player doesn't get scored for the bomb exploding, to play towards streaks. So overall, it kind of works out, but he probably would have gone for the kill. Not exactly sure. Of course, that will remain to be seen. Could be asked basically once this map is kind of over and done with. But looking on, early first blood, yet again, going the way of LispZeus. This guy is just incredibly accurate with that STG-44. Looks like Spacey does take out Neon there as well. So 3 versus 3. He's basically going for the plant. However, losing teammates left, right, and center, and JetLi pulling out that sniper rifle. It's prone for him to be having it in his back pocket quite a bit of the time, and it looks like Hitmxn does get dropped. A nice little line sight there coming in from Apox, as he also has the sniper rifle in hand, but it's about the machine pistol that he's going to need to secure this round. LispZeus 1v2. Trying to enter in toward the site. Does spot out one. Can he find the second, though? Playing off of that box, and you see how close he is. Takes out Spacey and makes it look easy. The hat trick, the round secured, along with the defuse. A lot of attributes for LispZeus, as he will be able to secure this one and chalk up the second for the guys on Rain. And like I said, that confidence early on in the game is really big for these guys, right? Because, of course, they lose the hard point. They need some confidence. They need something underneath them. And really when it came down to, I think we actually got to witness, in quarterfinals, We actually also got to watch Search and Destroy and London Docks, so it's got to definitely play favor to the guys on Rain because they've literally just played this in their prior series. But it was JetLi. He really had a strong performance toward like round 5 and round 6. He really started to go up for that sniper rifle, and that's really going to be a continuous battle for them with the snipers. It's going to be JetLi for the side of Rain, and a lot of times it's Apox for the guys on JuKed. Is loading in here for round number 4. Hitmxn and co. from the side of Rain on the offense. Firing some shots through. Bomb has been planted, and now puts more pressure onto onto JuKed rather to try and engage. As keep in mind, player number 4 making his way through mid-cut, has the opportunity to make a play, but he actually backs up at the worst time possible. He's not there to trade, and just like that, LispZeus has earned full streaks. LlamaGod in a 1v3. Good luck. Waving the white flag at this point in this round. No opportunity to really even go for it if used. However, though, could pick up some kills for at least kind of one point of view. Also takes down JetLi, so a positive here in the end for the young Llama himself. Juz does get 2 of the 3. Can't win the round, but still does find a positive at the end of the day. And so with that, a 3rd round gain here for the guys on Rain. Despite Neon having a pretty slow start, 0-4. His teammates are picking it up, as LispZeus and JetLi have been fairly consistent when it comes to multiple game modes. I mean, them and Hitmxn have been the reason why this team has seen so much success in this tournament tonight, making their way at least to the semifinals as JetLi speak of his name. He does find one off the break. Just trying to limit those numbers inside of A, and that's the factor of, I'm not exactly sure if they tossed the smoke out or not. But regardless, though, that kind of vantage point, that top balcony from Fire is just so lethal. And so looking on, bomb in the hands of LlamaGod at the actually, no, bomb not in the hands of anyone right now. I thought it was actually toward that lower dock side, but it looks like an enemy, or excuse me, a teammate rather, has dropped. LlamaGod falls, and now Apox 1v3. His position is known, and no success is found. So 4 rounds to 1. And you got to imagine, like, both these teams just played on London Dock Search and Destroy. And I'm not exactly sure. I want to say, I can't remember who it was that JuKed played against, but I know Rain was facing off against a very steady opponent in Lethal Gaming, who are known for their Search and Destroy game. They take them out on that game mode. They have a lot of confidence, especially winning a CTF. So I'm not exactly sure what or how close JuKe's series was, but still, though. So looking on, it looks like Neon and co. Actually receiving word that Complexity has actually booked their way into the finals for tonight. Make a pretty decent comeback in their series and moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, it basically tries to get out of where that glide bomb would have taken them out from. It ends up getting picked off for the first blood because of it. Hitmxn coming from the side. Has the potential to take out Baker, but can't make anything happen. But Baker needs to back up. The nade ever too close. And now it's a 3-on-2 advantage toward the offense, and they realize that that's the case. JetLi trying to clear a little bit of that mid-map to allow his teammates a successful journey toward the A-bomb site, but in him falling, they no longer have a scout to kind of gain vision. But it's LlamaGod who actually makes his presence too well known inside a middle map. Yet again, another position where Apox has to go big. And LispZeus, who is currently on a 7 spree, is standing in his way, of course, along with a guy is Neon, who's yet to find a kill, so much different opponent now. How does Apox try to engage? And honestly, if I'm LispZeus, I'm not like peeking my head out this much. Like, I feel like he's kind of a little bit too aggressive right now. He doesn't have to reveal his position, I feel like, as much to Apox right now, but here comes the close engagement, and actually utilizes the flamethrower, as that is just gruesome. Thank God that ended quickly. That was awful. But we talk about in Search and Destroy how players accidentally leave on the flamethrower. That is awful. Can we change that? Is there like a mature filter that we can turn on in options? I don't think so. But still, like that is. Oh yeah, producer just said to turn on paintball mode. That was actually not a bad idea. I thought that was kind of cool, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, flames do come out, and it does work out pretty well there for LispZeus and whatnot. On an 8 spree, I know it doesn't say it on the game feed, but I believe it hasn't died since his initial deaths. As currently a 3 versus 2, 5-round-to-1 advantage right now for the guys on Rain. And looking to see that CTF for our final one here in the semis. LispZeus could catch the feet of Space Sleep, maybe shoots his shoe off, but that's really about it. Couple shots onto Baker, but nothing going to be home, so it looks like a ground game there for the side of JuKed. By no means are they out of it. It's just looking incredibly unlikely. But of course, if you guys are just joining us right now, of course, a semi-final matchup here for the UMG Prime at $2,000 4v4 variant. We've got Rain and we've got JuKed. JuKed, of course, took map number 1 on Orange Forest, 250 to 232, and find themselves in a pretty awkward standpoint when it comes into search and destroy. Really needing some confidence underneath themselves heading into a CTF, which looks to be incredibly likely at this point. Despite Neon joining the agency, he still has his teammates leading the way. They are up 5-rounds-to-2 when he's yet to find a kill. And this is what I'm talking about. All 3 of his teammates turning up at different points, whether it's Hitmxn, LispZeus, or JetLi. They are just playing phenomenal. And here comes the fighter pilot from the skies. LispZeus able to take out Apox. 2 versus 2. And LispZeus is starting to light it up. Baker 1v2 now for the map. His position is known now, and he won't be able to stay alive for much longer than that. 6-rounds-to-2. And just like that, we are going to see yet again another CTF tonight. Pretty surprised by this. Of course, it's surprised the competition is obviously a lot higher, but still, I feel like in a lot of our matches that we've been seeing recently, like CTFs really haven't really been in the playbook for a lot of them. But I believe out of the, I think we've casted 1, 2, 3, like 3 or 4 series, and I think like only one of them hasn't gone to a map 3. So despite that, and also keeping in mind, literally Neon finishes off literally at one point, joins the agency, yet they still win in a pretty dominant way. They win 6-rounds-to-2. I really don't understand it. I really don't. But we'll take a look. There's actually different emblems to look here at the Search and Destroy scorecard. Of course, the key in the bottom left to kind of give you guys a little bit more of an idea as to what happened in quite a few of these rounds, as it was really Rain who had different strong points throughout this game. They had that kind of massive 5-round swing. They're able to kind of dominate, whether it came through kills, defusing the bombs, or obviously just having time limit being reached. They do close this one out, even with having a player not find a single kill, which is a pretty interesting feat in that. But I believe, guys, we're going to have Arden Forest CTF for map number 3. Of course, feel free to put your predictions down in the chat below, or even let us know on Twitter what your guys' thoughts are at UMG Events, to let us know what your guys' thoughts are, whether or not you think it can be Rain who closes out this series and continue on with some surprises. I'm not going to lie, kind of, you know, a little bit unorthodox to see a group like this who potentially could be in the finals for our Prime $2,000 4v4 variant. For the UMG Prime at $2,000 4v4 variant. Of course, hopping in here toward our map number 3 of our semifinal. Winner progresses to face off against Complexity in the finals for tonight. Loser ends with a, you know, fairly impressive 3rd through 4th place finish, it's fair to say. But no one wants that title. Everyone wants to at least see themselves in the finals to get some portion of the $2,000 prize. As looking on here for some Arden Forest, a pretty typical map when it comes down to the CWL rotation. A lot of teams prefer to play this map just because it kind of plays like typical CTF. It's about playing the lanes, kind of playing your man count, and obviously it plays a lot bigger than both London Docks and Flak Tower. So that obviously is one positive that does come along with it. Don't have the kind of either spawn, I don't want to say flukiness, or just the ability to have 3 go down quickly, then your kind of overall strats are messed up. So it does play a little bit easier, it's fair to say. So moving on, minute down, early aggression being shown from the side of Rain, which I think is good to see. It's healthy, really, to see from them. But a lot of kind of momentum comes into best of 3s, and one thing that I really like about best of 3s a lot, of course, not saying that I like them preferred over best of 5s by any means, but it's really interesting to watch these tournaments and being able to kind of lay witness to one team who has the advantage of already winning a respawn, but the other team has the advantage of winning a search and destroy. And one thing that I'm really a big fan of having CTF in a rotation and just the overall ability of how similar the Hardpoint and search and destroy kind of are. It's like a respawn meets the communication, the teamwork that CTF also relies on as well. As it looks like Apox does try to grab the flag at the latter parts, but it will quickly be returned. Smart plays actually coming in from the guys on JuKed as they do award the flag return to an enemy to a teammate rather, who was closer. 2 streaks. So you can obviously see the communication definitely coming into play as it looks like player number 8, LlamaGod, causing some issues, kind of chipping away at that forest side setup. And just like that, you can kind of see in the top left of your map right now, 3 of those arrows kind of forced up. You notice player number 7, Baker, kind of getting the backlines, making sure that the base is clear. Kind of player counting right now. JetLi ends up dropping, and just like that, LlamaGod does earn 2 out of the 3 streaks. The mortar strike would actually be very beneficial as well on CTF and on a map like this. He points away, goes for the re-challenge, and tries to take down JetLi, and will find it at that. Smart play coming in from LlamaGod, and just like that, 4 do fall. The flag has been grabbed, and say goodbye to what was an even game. LlamaGod will be able to escape with this flag, having no teammates to even be around him. They know he's good. They have no issue with it. And what I really like, actually, about the set of JuKed is that they don't really kind of babysit the flag carrier. They're going to go for another grab. They are off spawn, keeping in mind what really kind of takes place in a map like this. They're going to call in the streaks to solidify that player number 4 ends up dropping, which is Neon. And there is a second flag scored along with it. A beautiful relay coming forward from the guys on JuKed. Great intuition as JetLi says hello to Baker through the window. But still, though, just overall very smart play coming in from the guys on JuKed. You got to be keeping in mind the kind of veteran, the leadership that comes in from guys like LispZeus and even LlamaGod as well. Played in a lot of CTF games, and I know Apox has kind of been a name throughout Black Ops 3. Baker has been very well known throughout kind of Advanced Warfare as well. So guys are known, but I think it's fair to say LispZeus does bring a lot to a team. And one thing that I was really impressed with LispZeus was actually back in Advanced Warfare when he was on a team known as Justice, where he played with players you probably know of now. Guys like Envoy, you probably know of Kenny now from Team Caliber, and Assault, of course, current player for Echo Fox. He was actually the captain of that team. All of them were young guns at the time, except for LispZeus. And he really kind of led that team, was the main kind of vocal guy behind it, and led them to some very high placements. I think it was like, what, like top 4, top 5 at MLG World Finals, and I think there was, UMG DC, that they had like a top 4, top 5 placement there as well. So definitely used to being a leader. Granted, doesn't have to be it at all times, but I think kind of getting away from the Ghost Gaming branding is going to kind of help this group out at LlamaGod with the slang. 15-2 right now is this man. 6 spree for him, has earned streaks earlier, has earned them again. Has to watch his corner, though. JetLi is just around toward his left side as he realizes he's here. Wait, how does JetLi not spot him? JetLi doesn't realize where he is, I don't think. Regardless, though, he gets the flag back in his hands. I don't know what just happened there. I'm not exactly sure. I could have swore that LlamaGod literally ran right past JetLi's point of view. JetLi acted as if it didn't even happen, and then goes and grabs the flag himself. Not exactly sure. And as the streaks start to come forward, Baker and LlamaGod do find 2. But here comes the mortar strike to ruin things, to close out the party. Hitman, though, will be here, thankfully, for the return of the stun, along with a number of different additives from the set of JuKed. Will not stop that flag capture from going forward. So in some cases, I don't mind the mortar strike being used in that case, but at the same time, you kind of realize, like, hey, we don't have anyone there. Like, it might delay the flag, the guy running with the flag and whatnot, but still. Hate to see streaks not get correctly utilized, which, of course, it's a lot easier from my point of view to see that, but still. Mortar strike doesn't accomplish as much as it probably would have liked to. But keep in mind, though, LlamaGod right now is 17-3, having an unreal performance. And with the advantage in their hand, it's no surprise at that. As long as the other guys can play consistent, they're going to have like a walking kill streak. And man known as LlamaGod. Probably the most interesting gamer tag, I think it's fair to say, in Call of Duty. I will not forget LlamaGod as long as I live. I think it's actually funny. My mom, even who watches Call of Duty Esports from time to time, she even knows who LlamaGod is just because of his name. Such a unique name. I love it, though. Good old LlamaGod doing the work and currently dominating right now. Like we said, 17-5. Of course, we are not intentionally staring at those dead bodies, as Hitman does earn some streaks of his own. A little bit of Codcaster glitch that we've been experiencing over the last few days where, unfortunately, we do have to stare at the dead bodies for a few seconds. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of strange, but still, we do apologize for that. We're not just interested in the ground once it ends, so we do apologize for that. LlamaGod, who's actually in a fighter pilot of his own, ends up getting taken down. So flag in the hands of LispZeus, and this could tie up the game, having some teammate support behind him, but has to go for the mad dash. Players just behind him, and can he escape? Neon watching the cut will be there for the most important kill of that rush, but it looks like one ends up falling. Player number 1, Hitman, is going to be there, and it looks like the flag will get captured in the end. So 2-2. A last-second effort there from the guys on Rain to bring this one back to even, despite LlamaGod having an overall triple positive performance. Only for the time. Ends up dropping there and kind of ruins it. But still, it's fine. Hitman and LispZeus, though, do combine 3, and now Spacely, finding himself in an awkward position, is just trying to delay for as long as possible. His teammates, who all died in such quick succession, have a 7.5 respawn delay. And so needing some teammate support, the streak's now getting ready to be dropped in. Hitman finding one. LlamaGod, though, trying to drop them as much as he can, trying to diminish the forces that are currently in their base, but Apox ends up dropping in toward Fire Alley. LlamaGod drops as well, and just like that, this could be the 3rd flag scored here from the boys on Rain. But it looks like some people are here. It's actually Spacely, who's on the flag right now, needs to win a gunfight, but it's going to be JetLi, who wins a huge 1v1. I'm not exactly sure where Spacely was positioned at, but a big moment comes in from JetLi there. Granted, isn't having the best of performances. At one point was 6-12, but now bringing it back to 10-12. Giving his team the edge. Not just in S&D, but now in the respawns too. As JetLi drops in the flag. Apox is here. He has no teammates around him except for player number 7, who's not here to stop this. Coming through Fire Alley, the cuts are going to be watched. He ends up dropping, and just like that, that's going to be the 4th flag that could potentially go in. Here come the streaks, though. Spacely and them have to stop inside of that quarter-side alley. And so they end up dropping just inside of ruins. They're not able to really move their position whatsoever because the streaks halt their progression. Big plays coming in from Rain. They're catching fire as a unit. They're doing it as a team. Hitman 21-14, having a very solid performance right now. And really beginning to show up. And here comes another flag grab. The guys from Rain just have this alley set up. They know exactly where to look. But on the opposite end, you have to keep in mind. Flag out for Spacely. A big victory there for Neon. Played slow in the search and destroy. Joined the agency. But is finding kills exactly what he needs to. Going on sprees. Goes for the dolphin dive, does Baker, but JetLi is there to cut him down. 3 fall for the side of Rain. And now Neon could play huge here on the 6th spree, but the dolphin dive comes forward for Spacely. A big moment if you are on the side of JuKed, keeping them in the game for now. And along with that, has earned streaks for his team. And here comes Apox with the flag. Apox has got it out. The artillery barrage is coming forward, though. And can they escape with it? Here comes the fighter pilot. Neon ends up dropping 2, but he doesn't pick off Apox. He doesn't find him. So despite all of the streaks being utilized, it will be Apox & Co. from the side of JuKed. With the last second, we'll be able to get this flag in. Spacely calls in the fighter pilot to pick up a few extra 3 kills. But keep in mind, player number 1, Hitman, is just toward that flag. Can he grab it in time? And yes, he will grab the flag, but to no avail. The return will come through. And talk about a comeback from the boys on JuKed. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. It was JuKed in the beginning. It was Rain in the middle. And then it was JuKed at the end. I mean, talk about a comeback. Unbelievable stuff. As Spacely & Co. beginning to turn up. And LlamaGod saying, thank God. I've been waiting for them forever. So now we head to some overtime for some capture the flag. I'm becoming ever too fond of CTF and Arden Forest, it's fair to say. But looking on, he's basically off the start. He's found himself on the flank. Does get found out, though. Both these teams, I'm sure, used to playing Respawn, are familiar with overtime when it comes into Arden Forest. They know how it works. And Arden Forest, this is a pretty high-scoring game, it's fair to say. And just like that, Baker actually takes out a few with the streaks. Apox as well. This is an early flag being taken out, and JetLi making his way through Fire Alley. Realizes that he no longer has a vantage point to stop this flag from progressing, but does take out one big player. Does drop one onto Apox. But LispZeus watching over for the flag carrier, as that one will be scored in the end. So now, based off a stopwatch, the enemy team now has the opportunity to try and score the flag either at the exact same time or lower. 50 seconds, not going to be easy. JuKed, after making an insane comeback, scored the first flag of overtime in less than a minute. And now Rain, who thought that they had it in the bag, find themselves on the back foot. But look at this, LispZeus and JetLi off the start are finding kills. Baker needs to stay alive inside a cave. However, it doesn't happen. 5 players dropping on the map, and now Hitmxn needs to win a big 1v1. He does exactly that. Here comes the streaks. The mortar strike does not delay him, though. And here he goes. He's on the run. Here comes the glide bomb. Can it take out Hitmxn is the thing. He's staying alive, though. He stays alive inside a cabin. His only fortress to try and stay alive, and only has 10 seconds left. Can the flag get there is the question, and Hitmxn will be able to score it. And the guys from Rain will respond back with a laugh of their own. Back and forth we went. Less than 50, or like, what was it, like 55 seconds that they had time to get that flag captured again in overtime. And they answer the call. What an unbelievable CTF that we witness here in overtime, as the boys from Rain have officially found themselves in the finals for tonight's tournament versus the side of Complexity. I mean, what was that? That was unreal. That's, yeah, I don't even know how to call that, to be honest with you. I mean, that was just unbelievable stuff. Like, to kind of break down, like, it was just back and forth play, right? We see the guys from Rain start off with a little bit of a slow start. We were kind of discussing and saying, like, okay, they need to kind of pick things up. I mean, it was LlamaGod who started off like 17-2, 17-3, something along those lines. They started to kind of get flag capture after flag capture. They had the lead. And then at one point, Rain just decides to play. They decide, like, they start to kind of catch that lane. They kind of flip sides. They keep hitting bunker over and over and over again, and it obviously ends up working out for them. I think they get like 3 flag captures in a row, something crazy like that. And then now we see the guys on JuKed on the back foot. They end up making a crazy comeback, scoring like 2 flags in a row to send it to overtime in the last second. And then we head to overtime. It doesn't end there. We head to overtime. We see the guys on JuKed score a flag in 54 seconds? And then the guys on Rain, or 51 seconds, excuse me. And then we see the guys on Rain somehow get it done. I was talking about if Baker can stay alive in that position inside a cave, that totally delays that entire forest push, but he can't stay up. Neon and JetLi off the break, really found the kills necessary, and they get it done in OT. That CTF was just absolutely unreal. A fantastic matchup between both these teams, and of course the series was phenomenal as well. Of course, the Hardpoint on Arden Forest went 250 to 232. JuKed ended up closing that one out. And obviously in Search and Destroy and CTF, this team of Rain is not one to mess with. They took down Lethal Gaming in the prior series, of course, in the quarterfinals, in this exact same set, winning the Search and Destroy and winning the CTF, and they do it here versus a very talented team in JuKed. However, though, their kind of final boss awaits them in the grand finals for tonight against Complexity. That is not going to be an easy matchup by any means. We actually got to watch Complexity face off against Enigma 6, where Dashu was just having a field day, was playing incredibly solid, and led the guys to winning that one in a map 3 on Flat Tower. They closed out CTF 3-2 and overall 2-1 in the series. So a lot has obviously gone on for tonight. If you guys are very interested, as I am as well, make sure to visit our YouTube channel to want to watch that CTF again. Tell your friends, tell Reddit, tell the internet what exactly just happened in that CTF, because that was just an unbelievable ending to that overtime, along with an overall phenomenal series, an overall phenomenal tournament that we've had for tonight. Of course, if you guys are interested and want to go back to watch all those VODs live on demand, you can visit our YouTube channel /UMG events, and of course, we will have those broadcasts up for the next few days. You guys can obviously watch all those and experience it all again. So, yeah, guys, we're going to head to a commercial break. When we return, some more awesome action. We've got the guys from Rain facing off against Complexity. Feel free to tweet us on Twitter. Or even you can't even use the hashtag UMG Prime. I'm just making a hashtag. I'm not even sure if that's allowed, but I'm making a hashtag. Hashtag UMG Prime. Let us know your predictions. Are you going with the guys on Rain, the underdogs for this tournament, or are you guys going with the kind of final boss in Complexity, Parasite and Co., waiting on their kind of opponents? And now they know who they are. Question being, who will walk away with the title?